back in St. Louis, and we're just about set to go for baseball tonight. The Colorado Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals. It is game number 1 of this 4-game series. Bill Finley and his crew hard at work to get the field prepped. Little drainage here. Chalk the lines and get ready to go. Cardinals winners of 2 or 3 against Milwaukee, and now welcome in the Rockies to town. And let's turn to Jim Edmonds Toyota, key to the game.
Well, Miles Michaelis today keeping the ball in the ballpark. Not only has he had a little bit of trouble with home runs lately, but this team in Colorado lives on the 3-run home run, and there a lot of offense comes off their home runs, so keep those home runs down and you got a chance to win.
These are guys that are big names, big hitters, big home run hitters as well. Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado. And what they've done here at Busch Stadium, not near what they've done in career numbers, looking at what they've also had this season. Blackmon, Story, and Arenado, good years, but here at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals will try to hold them in check. We'll step aside. The Rockies are here, and when we come back, we'll give you our lineups and our first pitch. 3.5 minutes away from game number 1. The Cardinals and Rockies on Fox Sports Midwest.
Is that when your voice peaked?
Yep, I was sick. The Rockies and the Cardinals here from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Crowd still filing in. 73 degrees. It's cooled off considerably from earlier in the week. And along with Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. The Cubs won today, so the Cardinals, as we speak, 1 game out. If they win, a half game back. Milwaukee 4, Cincinnati 8.5, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates are 16.5 out, 52 and 74 here in this 2019 season. There's a look at Bud Black, longtime Major League pitcher. Actually won a ring with the Kansas City Royals against the Cardinals back in 1985. Rockies have made the playoffs in 2 straight years. First time ever. Doesn't look like that'll happen this season, as Colorado is 58 and 69. But you cannot say that about Mike Schilt and the Cardinals in trying to get back on track, Jimmy, here tonight.
No, they are, well, I mean, we can just go back to last night. I mean, they won 2 out of 3, and I thought last night they had a chance to come back. And that just goes to show you what this team is all about. If you go down 4 or 5 to nothing, and you end up coming back and get a rain delay, most people just walk off the field like, ah, heck, let's go home. They're on the verge of coming back, and he was upset in his press conference because he knows he got cut short of another victory last night, and I think that tells a lot about where this team is at right now.
Yeah, he was not happy at all that the game was called as quickly as it was. About an hour after the rain began to fall and time had expired apparently for the umpires, and they said enough's enough and we're moving on, and that was it. Miles Michaelis to the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. 7-13 his record. And he'll pitch in game 1 tonight as the Cardinals continue their 7-game homestand. in the opener of this 4-game series. The overall record 7-13, ERA just below 4.5, and the opponent's hitting .277 against him. It's a stark contrast to the right-handers numbers that we saw a year ago.
Well, it's kind of the sophomore slump, so to speak, right? It's really not a sophomore slump. It's just when you have a good freshman year or a good first year, guys want to figure you out, so they go back and they give you a second look, a third look, and trying to figure out what you got. And what you got is the Hyundai pitch arsenal right here, and a lot of fastballs for strikes early on. Well, last year teams were taking it. This year guys are ready to hit when they walk in the box, and just hasn't been the same for them this year so far.
Rankings in August concerning the Cardinals pitching staff, and it's been very good for the most part. Every once in a while you'll have a blemish, but those numbers, they stand out, and a big reason why the Cardinals are in contention.
Yeah, well, that bullpen is prime bullpen, #1 in the league, and they are just, it came up the other night. Mike had to take a couple guys out of the game early, and Rick and I were next door, and doing our double second guessing and everything else, and we both looked at each other and said, well, if you had a bullpen like that, you wouldn't be worried. And I said, oh yeah, let's talk about that instead. But that's right, he can go to the bullpen a little bit early when you have that much confidence in your group.
Including tonight, 37 games remain at Busch Stadium, with 20 of those right here at home. Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, then Daniel Murphy, Ramel Tapia, McMahon, Desmond, Walters, and Herman Marquez. So a lot of lefties for Miles Michaelis to contend with.
I feel like Colorado always has a bunch of lefties, or they do a good job of going lefty-righty, so doesn't surprise me one bit.
Well, you could say that
after
maybe
last night, they should have at least 2 or 3 of them out there after.
Well, he's looking
Adam
for a Rosenbag. Yeah, he just said, forget it, let's go. Lefty's hitting .308 this year against Michaelis, and the first pitch taken for a ball by Charlie Blackmon. He comes in hitting .330, and there's that Rosenbag, and he'll throw it behind the pitcher's mound. .330 average, third best in the National League.
You know what they say around baseball, right? Snuck up on them. They didn't know the game was going to start. Forgot the Rosenbag.
Well, about a 45-minute rain delay and the start of play tonight, so it did sneak up on him, I guess.
And the pitcher last night said he was sweating so bad he could barely hang on to the ball.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blackmon at .330, then McNeil of the Mets and Christian Yelich of the Brewers at .332, and that's hit out of play. Rockies, they have a chance to play spoiler here, because after this 4-game set, they go back home and they've got a makeup game with the Braves and then host the Red Sox 2-game set, and Colorado has won 5 of their last 7 coming into play tonight. And the 1-2 is spoiled. These two teams will meet 7 times in the next 3 weeks. Cardinals won 5 of 7 last year against the Rockies. And the 1-2 taken in the dirt, 2-2. Blackmon riding a 10-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. Some big names in this lineup and guys that can swing the bat. Blackmon, Story, Arenado, Daniel Murphy, Ian Desmond. Outstanding shortstop on deck in Trevor Story, and then Nolan Arenado. So it is a tough first inning to contend with if you're Miles Michaelis.
Well, I think they're too good of a team to be 58-69. But I don't even think it matters if you're above 500. You're still chasing the Dodgers, right?
Absolutely. Blackmon is fouled off now. 5 pitches.
This is his gig. This is what he does. He's a perfect guy for the top of the order.
Well, you mentioned the Rockies are below the 500 mark. Cardinals are a team that has enjoyed success against sub-500 teams. 36 wins of the 60 meetings they've had against sub-500 teams. So they've taken care of business in that regard, which is what you have to do, especially this late in the season.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of everything you can, especially like you said, the teams that are not worthy of being with you on the field.
A 9-pitch at bat and a fly ball into left center. Bader is there. At third base tonight, Tommy Edman around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Edman at third, DeYoung at short, Wong and Goldschmidt on the right side, Yachty behind the plate, Ozuna, Bader, and Fowler in the outfield. And it brings in Trevor Story. I would imagine you're going to see a lot of Tommy Edman at third base. The struggles of Matt Carpenter.
We've kind of grown to see Tommy Edman as a starter. He just doesn't start in the same position every night.
Yep. And the strike at the knees to Story, who has 28 home runs. The curveball. Last 5 games, batting right around 500 for the shortstop of the Rockies, and Carpenter giving way tonight to Tommy Edman. I was with Matt Carpenter this morning at his field dedication. Did a really nice job and signed the extension. Part of that was he wanted to donate back to Cardinals Care and the 24th field that has been built. And I know you've done that, Jimmy, and many players over the years. Fly ball left center, Bader. So Matt Carpenter Field, Pagedale, and his father Rick was there as well. He did a nice job. Bill DeWitt III, the Cardinals president. I had the privilege to be there to MC it. And Matt was all smiles and signing autographs, taking photos, and no surprise, he's as classy as they come. And there's no doubt he knows it's been a struggle.
Danny, you are the Where's Waldo of St. Louis. You are everywhere. And that is a good thing, my friend. It shows that you care and you love your city and you love the people around you.
I do.
And thank you very much for making me go to the press conference the other day for the soccer. I appreciate that.
You bet. Wouldn't that neat to be there?
It's unbelievable.
They did such a good job. Carolyn Kendall Betts and Jim Cavanaugh and Tom Strunk, the ownership group, in their presentation to announce MLS coming to St. Louis. The 2-0 pitch. Renato looks at a strike.
Or I guess I should say inviting me. But you kind of, I wouldn't have known without you.
Well, I said, get your you-know-what there.
The 3-letter word.
Yeah. And you said, I'll be there. And so many former athletes, whether they're in the Cardinals Hall of Fame or baseball's Hall of Fame, like Ozzie Smith or Chris Pronger, Bernie Federko, Jackie Smith, Aeneas Williams, all there. All the professional,
so many guys there.
Sports franchises represented and excited, and those that call St. Louis home. It was a great day.
Saw Kerry Robinson there.
Bernard Gilkey, two St. Louis natives. 3-2 pitch down to Nolan Arenado. Ground ball, good inning for Michaelis. Gets through that murderer's row. 19 pitches, with 9 going in 1 at bat with Charlie Blackmon. Top of the lineup coming up for St. Louis. We're at Busch Stadium. Little rain delay, and there's no score. Dexter Fowler at the top of the GMC Cardinal lineup. The switch hitter, followed by Wong, and then Goldschmidt, Ozuna, DeYoung, Molina, Tommy Edman, Harrison Bader, and Miles Michaelis. Former Rocky and now Cardinal will dig in against Herman Marquez, who is 12-5. And this guy, when he is right, can be very, very good. He's given up a ton of home runs, almost 30 this year. Hyundai pitch arsenal for the right-hander of the Rockies.
See fastball, curveball, especially in the slider. Easy 95-mile-an-hour average velocity. Say no grunting, no effort is what we're hearing, and can get up into the upper 90s.
That's popped foul down the left field line, out of play. Marquez comes into this start having won 4 in a row. These are the dog days, aren't they, partner?
They are, but we got a break in the weather today. And if you're out there on the field and you walk out on the field in St. Louis today and feel this, you're going, wow,
Feels
we got a
good.
break.
Yep.
A cloud cover, a little moisture, cooled off a lot. Love it.
Dexter Fowler, one of 4 players that has played 200 or more games with the Cardinals and 200 or more with Colorado. Holiday, Fowler, Descalso, and Miles. And then missed down and in.
Dexter's been doing a really nice job in the leadoff spot. Last 15 games, he's hitting about 320.
That one got him on the outside corner, caught looking on the 3-2. It's always interesting with the home road splits when you talk about, in particular, the
Colorado,
offense of the Rockies, but also what it does for a pitcher. And you can see here on the road, he's been very good, 7-3, and the ERA much lower.
Talking to some people in Colorado, they said that he had 2 blow-ups in Colorado, and that is why the ERA is as high as it is, and it's still pretty low.
Here's Colton Wong. 355 the average since the All-Star break. Hit 244 before it. Boy, he's missing, and not by much at all. Bruce Dreckman is the home plate umpire. 3-0. Goldschmidt on deck.
It's funny how they talk about these guys, and I know Coors Field plays a big part of it, but they amped up Marquez before the game, the Colorado people that we talked to, and said how much of an arm he has and good breaking pitches. And I still look to those ERAs and say, how does a guy like this have a 4.7 ERA? But yet he's 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you get a little bit in Colorado. You're going to give up 3 or 4 or 5 runs at times and still win 9-5. But it's just amazing to see just how much the game has changed. And I know we talk about it over and over, and it gets exhausting, but it still blows me away when I see stuff like that.
He's also a very fast worker, and that's something that the Rockies talk about that they love, is Wong singles into center field. Base hit on a 3-2 pitch to center, and it brings in Goldschmidt.
Just another nice job, Colton Wong. A year ago, maybe even at the beginning of this year, he'd have sold out for a fastball and tried to take him deep, and right there, he's got the feel of just being able to put the ball in play, use his hands, and if he still hits the barrel, the ball's going to fly right there. Ball got in on him a little bit. He's got a nice, easy base hit.
The defense of Wolters behind the plate, it's elite. As Goldschmidt lines it into left for a base hit. And the point I was about to make is, will the Cardinals be running in this series? We'll find out the next 4 days. So the catcher, Wolters behind the plate, then Arenado, Story, McMahon, and Murphy along the infield. Desmond, Tapia, and Blackman in the outfield. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The batter is Marcell Ozuna, .336 career hitter in 32 games against the Rockies. That was Goldschmidt's 20th hit on the first pitch of an at-bat, and he's also a guy that sees some of the most pitches per at-bat. So if he's trying to ambush you early,
he knows something.
You got it.
Or the fact that he doesn't want to see the slider and the curveball.
That might be it too. Ooh, up and in.
Change up.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Backup slider.
Fouled back. Good rip by Marcell.
Yeah, and you can see how easy that 95-mile-an-hour fastball is coming out of Marquez's hand. I mean, it's like he's just not even trying. He's like he's throwing batting practice to his kids, and the ball just jumps out of his hand.
It was back on the 2nd of April that Marquez agreed to a 5-year, $43 million extension. That's off the end of the bat. Club option for 2024, so he's in the fold for a while. Why not? He had 230 strikeouts last year. That's the single season club record, previously held by Ubaldo Jimenez, who had 214 strikeouts in 2010.
And he was nasty.
Yes, he was.
Whew.
One ball, 2 strikes with 2 runners on here in the first inning.
Pretty short breaking ball too. No jump out of the hand. Kind of comes out flat and then just really takes off. That's be something to keep an eye on to see how much of a weapon that is, because if it stays like that, it's going to be tough to see for the hitters.
The 2-2 in the dirt again. DeYoung on deck. Turning out to be a long, extended bottom of the first.
Look at this curveball. Really, well, that's a bad one anyways, but it doesn't jump out of the hand. And normally when you see a curveball as a hitter, when you see it well, it actually pops up out of the hand first and then comes to the plate. He's throwing it where it's going straight out of the hand and then down in the zone.
Ozuna fights it off. Shallow center. That ball will drop. Force play though at second, and they got him. Well, you could see that Goldie was really caught in between, but if Tapia would catch that ball, and he gets the force play at second.
I think they both do a really nice job right here. And right at the end, you see Colton leave. And when he left, Paulie went back. And I think he just locked up. Because there's no way. I think he sees the center fielder start to slow up a little bit, thinking, oh, he's going to catch it. Because you know, as a runner, when the guy sticks his hand up as the ultimate worst deke in baseball,
right,
that's usually, I mean, go ahead and run.
Yeah.
And so he didn't do that, but he started to break it down like he was going to catch it. That's tough, because that takes a hit away from Marcell Ozuna.
2 outs, runners at the corners, and here's Paul DeYoung.
He's heard that a fielder's choice. That's fun.
I don't know if you saw it, but in our open we showed a graphic that, you know, how quickly guys strike at the shortstop position home runs. He's 3rd best at bat per home run, right around 20. I mean, it's A-Rod, Trevor Story, and then this guy, and we're talking all time.
Well, he's putting together a pretty solid beginning to his career, and he is not satisfied, let me tell you.
No, sir. Up and in. Here's what we're talking about. I mean, this is elite stuff. A-Rod just over 15, and then Trevor Story, and right after that Paul DeYoung, and that's all time, minimum of at least 1,000 at bats.
He got off on the right foot. Hit first at bat of his career, he had a homer.
Greg Holland was the pitcher that day, May 28th of 2017. That was also the date that John Brebbia made his major league debut, walking to the ballpark with an umbrella.
And we were doing the game up at the booth.
Right. 2-1. And DeYoung lets a fly ball into right center. And the catch is made by Blackman. So again, the Cardinals have an opportunity here in the first, but just cannot cash in. Murphy, Tapia, McMahon coming up. There's a look at Matt Carpenter. There's no score. Top of the second. Matt not in the lineup. And with more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Matt has struggled since his return from a minor league assignment. He is not in the lineup tonight. Carpenter hitting just 196 since he made his return. Mike Schilk told me Carpenter's situation remains fluid. He told me it'll change as we move. We're not excusing that he hasn't looked as good as we would have liked, so we made an adjustment in today's lineup. We also know if we can help get Carp going, he can propel this team. Getting production from him could require at-bats off the bench. The guy did finish 9th in the MVP race last year, and we recognize what he's capable of. So, Dan, it's kind of a balancing act for Mike Schilt right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is Daniel Murphy at the plate, longtime Met. Spent a little time with the Nationals and now here with the Rockies. He's at first base. It's Murphy, Tapia, and McMahon. He figured it out in New York and became such a threat at the plate. Out of Jacksonville, Florida. 3-time All-Star, couple of Silver Sluggers, the NLCS MVP against the Cubs, and there's a base hit to left. He figured it out, Jimmy, and he can flat out hit.
Career now .298 hitter, which is really, really good and really, really tough to do. And the thing that scares me is you see guys like this, as you look at this great swing, when they come into your town and you look at what they've been doing, last 15 games, .220. Last 7 games, .350.
Yep.
I'm not letting him get a big opportunity with guys out there in scoring position. I might be the guy I pitch around when I see coming in hitting .350 in the last week.
Here's Tapia batting .290. 8 home runs. He has driven in 38. And a strike to the center fielder. Dahl, who is an all-star this year for the Rockies, is hurt with a high ankle issue. They do expect him to return at some point, probably in the final month, and he is a really talented player. But Tapia now filling in. You see Bader now moving, trying to figure out what Yachty wants him to do, and they're going to back him up a step or two. Or maybe Yachty is seeing something.
No, they were talking about the forward sign. Sorry. Yachty was trying to tell Bader to never mind, and Bader was backing up. They'll get on the same page one of these days.
It's tough enough to hit, and then you have the forward sign
flashing.
Yep. Ground ball base hit into right. Tapia stopping at second base will be Murphy. So back-to-back hits here in the top of the second for the Rockies. Reminder that St. Louis Cardinals baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And Ryan McMahon will be the batter, another left-handed batter here. 3 in a row to deal with in this second inning. 266 the average. Fastball outside for a ball. The Rockies lost DJ LeMahieu this past offseason. Tough loss as he's in the mix for the American League MVP. LeMahieu with the Yankees. And so now it's McMahon getting a chance at second base. He was asked recently which opposing player he's watched and was in awe of. And apparently he didn't hesitate with this answer. He said Paul Goldschmidt. Power, approach, work ethic. He said unlike any other player he's seen so far in just a few short league years in the big leagues. Pretty good guy to emulate.
I mean, you ain't kidding.
What's impressed you about Paul? You're down there all the time.
You know what? God, where do I start? I mean, to be honest with you, pretty much everything. He's humble. He's turned into a team leader instantly. And I like the things away from the game, not on the field. He has been big time with helping guys out, bringing stuff that he loved in Arizona and kind of blending that in over here. This is what we did. And not this is what we did because I liked it. This is what we did because we figured out it worked. And it was just little stuff, base running, hitting the bag in the right place. You know, professional hitter, great job at first base, probably a Gold Glove first baseman. an all-around, just a really good guy, and I think he'd be a great teammate to have on any team.
Asked John Mozeliak about that the other day, and he said, you know, we knew that he was going to hit for power. We knew eventually he would hit. We thought he'd help clean up our defense. He's done all those things, but we had to learn about him more as a person. Now, we had heard things that were
La Russa
good, but
speaks with his, like, as high as it gets, saying that he's as good as it gets.
And he said, you know, we have found out that he's more maybe of a leader than we thought of.
Well, that's true. I just think he was willing to dive right in day one and teach and get in the middle of conversations, even if he wasn't leading the conversation, just to be involved. I mean, that's his personality. He wants the ball team. He wants the ball talk and the team and the guys to be better. And because of he wants it to go in a certain direction, and he'll start it, he'll finish it, he'll get in the middle, or he'll stay out of it if he needs to.
2-2 pitch up the middle. 1-0 Rockies. Being waved in. Murphy, he'll score. Flying around second. Tapia to third. And Colorado has an early lead as the ball gets away. McMahon will take second base. That'll be an error, and trouble here in the second inning. Not sure what happened on that play. It'll be an error on Harrison Bader, just the second on Bader this year.
This guy can run a little bit right here. Clearly no chance to get anyone at third. I don't know really what happened with the throw. I don't know if Bader short hop Paulie, or Paulie just didn't expect it to take a funky hop. It just looked up and the ball was gone.
Well, either way, that's routine. It shouldn't happen. Now it puts two runners in scoring position. Ian Desmond at the plate. I think you're right, Jimmy. It may have short hopped the shortstop Paul DeJong. Didn't have a great look at it. I think it did. He just missed it.
Oh, yeah, he did just miss it. I don't know if he bounced right next to the bag. Do you see how close it was to the bag?
Yeah. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Desmond bunting up the first base line, and foul.
Tell you what, that ball's fair. You know what that does right there? Scores a run and moves the runner from second to third into scoring position with only one out at third base.
Yeah, that play not a suicide squeeze.
Nope, he's just bunting for a base hit or even a sacrifice. But that's the thing. If the perfect at bat right here is hitting the ball to the right side, either on the ground or in the air deep. Score the runner from third and move the runner from second to third, and with only one out still, and you give the next guy a chance to drive in a run.
Swing and a miss. Elevated the fastball and a strikeout.
I don't know if I would do that with an 0-1 count, but the idea early on was there.
First strikeout for Miles Michaelis. And the catcher Tony Wolters batting .281. Quite a turnaround from a year ago when he was hitting under 200. Well, the Rockies, one World Series appearance all time. They were swept by the Red Sox in '07. Matt Holliday helped propel them with a famous moment in postseason play, and this one for the Rockies. Walters, the base hit, 13 innings against the Chicago Cubs. A fan has made his way onto the field and is being chased by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different security folks, and they still have not been able to corral him. Tries to do a backflip behind home plate, and he will be escorted off the premises. As per our rule,
we show the
we will not
players'
show
reactions.
Yeah, we're not going to give the fan any more attention on television, so that's why we do not show that.
That is not appropriate and at any time, even though it is funny, but not appropriate to be out there jeopardizing yourself and some of the players.
Well, that's the point, is in this day and age, or any day and age, what's the guy got? What, you don't know what's
for
happening.
Sure.
I mean, so you got to be cautious, careful, and get him out of here. So it's 1-0 with 1 out, runners at second and third. And the next pitch to Tony Wolters. 1 ball and 1 strike. Michaelis, the ground ball rate 20th in baseball. And the infield is in. But that's hit in the air to Bader. Makes the catch, and his throw wisely will go into third as Tapia will score. He could fly, as we saw. He scores easily to make it 2-0. Brings in Marquez. And you better not overlook Marquez. He can swing the bat. He was the Silver Slugger winner for pitchers a year ago.
Got 11 RBIs this year so far.
Last year he had a batting average of 300. And so far this year, 10 hits, 217 the average. And a runner in scoring position, and that's fouled back as he takes a rip, and that may have caught Molina. Sure did. And
hit him on the hand on the backswing. Not right here, but right there.
Ouch. That wrist area. And that was the liner out to center, and now it's Marquez as they check on Molina. Those hands just get beat to a pulp, don't they?
Yep. Glad it's not me. Doesn't look like much, but when your hand's jammed in that glove and that bat's coming around at a different angle, you're not expecting it. It is a shock.
And he says he's all right. What an eventful top of the second.
It's a tough inning for Miles so far.
Good friend Jonathan Barron in New York and watching us tonight as they watch at Citi Field. And that's handled by Michaelis. The flip to Goldschmidt. The Rockies pick up a pair of runs. Molina, Edman, Bader coming up. Colorado on top. Fox Sports Go. Take us wherever you go. Download the app, favorite supported devices, and check out Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Take a look at our Kia. Give it everything. And the Cardinals against the Rockies since 11, 35-17. They've really dominated the Rockies here at Busch Stadium. And tonight they'll have to come from behind, which is something they have done a lot of this year. So Molina, Edman, and Bader. Molina has been battling that sore hand. And as you mentioned, Jim Edmonds, it's about not only the grip on the bat, but it's a like that deep bone bruise that even when you hit one and square it up, it's the pain that you deal with all the time throughout the rest of this season and maybe even into spring training next year.
Yeah, it's basically ringing your thumb joint and gives you a bone bruise. And he came off the DL and for a couple of days didn't swing really hard, and then he cut loose a couple times.
A fly ball into left field. Catch made by Tapia for the out.
Cut loose a couple times, and I thought, okay, he's finally feeling a little bit better. And then the other day, he got one off the end or got a jam shot and bothered him a little bit. And then all of a sudden, we're talking about his hand bothering him again. So it's not something that's going to go away. As long as there's no damage in there, I think there would be okay to let him go out there as much as he wants, as long as there's nothing that's going to be permanent or future damage.
Here's Tommy Edman. And the pitch is strike. The switch hitter at third base. 265, batting .300 from this side of the plate. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Thought he called that a ball the way. Should have called it a ball, but the way he put his hand out there.
And quickly, 1-2-3 on that one. Strikeout number 2 for Marquez, and it brings in Bader. Harrison Bader returned to the Cardinal lineup this week. And a reminder, you can see him in Major League Baseball on MLB.tv. Stats, highlights, games from around the game of Major League Baseball, all at MLB.tv. What is he doing differently, Jimmy, with his stance? I noticed it looks to me like the bat lays flat a little bit more. And not there, right there. Not initially, but when he gets going.
I think what he said on his way out the other day or a couple weeks ago, right before he went and got sent down, he talked about how he's just going to go back to hitting the way he knows how to hit. And if that doesn't work, then he's just going to be okay with it. Like, I just want to get back to where I was. My approach, my situation, and if I'm not good enough to play, I'm not good enough to play. But I like what Rick Hinkiel said yesterday. He brought up the fact that he'd taken 3 walks in 2 games.
Yes.
And that's something he hadn't done in a long period of time. And that goes to tell you that he's now slowing the game down a little bit. He's seeing the ball better. And if you start doing that, you start swinging at strikes, your batting average is going to start going up.
And a strikeout of Bader, and 2 in the inning, 3 in the game for Marquez. We played 2, Rockies on top. Lou Hughes, this date in Cardinals history. A moth found its way inside the ear of Matt Holliday.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, that's
Did
gross.
that freak you out right there?
Yeah, it's gross.
I think I would have ran faster off the field.
And so the next day he borrowed a headset from our crew to make sure nothing found its way inside his head.
Hey, I would have been out there in left field during the game with some headphones on.
Disgusting.
It would have freaked me out.
That's our this date in baseball history with the Cardinals. It's the Summer of Lou at Fuse.com. Great deals there with Lou Fuse. That's another former Rocky and Cardinal, and pretty darn good for both teams and both franchises. Blackman, Story, Arenado, top of the lineup, 2-0 Rockies. First time through the lineup, the left-handed batters, 3 for 4, drove in a couple, 3 singles and a sac fly. What a play here. Oh, my goodness. And Goldschmidt couldn't come up with it. The ball is loose. It's live as Blackman will wind up at second base as Colton Wong just made a terrific play, and it looked to be a hop that should have been handled by Goldschmidt.
Not really sure what happened with Paulie at first. It looked like it just, I don't know if the field's a little bit wetter tonight with that ball that bounced up to DeYoung.
Man, what a play. And they give the air to Wong, which will be his 8th, and that should not be an error on him. I mean, this is one hop. It's not a short hop all that much.
Oh, it didn't really bounce on him. It was an in-between hop. and didn't bounce on him. But that's another one of those plays. Colton Wong is such an amazing infielder, and he still gets caught up in the moment being too quick, and he could have set his feet a little bit better. I know he was off balance because you could see it, but you almost would like to see him try to catch himself a little bit better and try to make a better throw. I mean, it's an amazing play, and I'm sure Paul Goldschmidt would say he should have caught that ball 10 out of 10 times, but it just, you know me, I dive, right? I catch the ball, I put my other hand in there. I don't want to see it jump out. Like, I want to see that play on the highlights. I don't want that to be an error. So you got to find a way to kind of manufacture that a little bit better, figure out how to get that play made.
A strike to Trevor Story, lined out to center. Man, what a play. Those soft hands, quick hands of Colton Wong. Terrific. It was DJ LeMahieu winning some Gold Gloves along the way, and one of those stops with the Rockies now in the American League might open the door for Colton Wong to win that Gold Glove. And that's lined foul.
What I was saying is, like, you watch the play and you end up just, what I'm looking at is where's the runner? Okay, so I see the ball's carrying him out there. No one likes Colton more than me. I'm just saying this is like the thing that I like to see him as he gets older and more mature, is how can he slow himself down, stop, and make that throw under more control. Other than that, best second baseman in the league by far.
100 miles per hour off the bat too.
Yeah, by far the best second baseman, best hands. I don't think I've seen too many people in my 20 years of baseball, and now watching a little bit more, with hands and athletic ability like he has.
We're all seeing it come together here, it seems like, the last year and a half or so. He's had a terrific second half at the plate. The 2-2 pitch to Story. Got him to reach. Ground ball left side. Edman looking back the runner. And the out.
But if you're going to throw off speed pitches, this is where you want them to end up, right there, down and away. That's even out of the zone. I'm not going to get a whole lot of damage on pitches like that.
5 home runs last 6 games for Nolan Arenado. Big numbers with runners in scoring position. He was a free agent, one of those guys that was going to come up and make big money, and he admitted, he said, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to deal with the stress of it. I'm happy in Colorado. If there's a competitive offer that they give me, I'm going to look at it. Well, they did, and he's locked up. And this guy is a player. This is one of those guys that's worth the price of admission to take in ground balls. And he's made a play here, Jimmy, that I've never seen a third baseman make at this ballpark. Now, Terry Pendleton was great with his back to the infield. Where the stands jet out and where the ball person, boy, grown man is, that's where he made the catch.
I was here with you, my friend, and you were going nuts.
And a liner, it's caught, leads Wong, and yes, they get the double play. Very top of the jump, and then lead Colton. Well done. Turnabout fair play, and Nolan Arenado has taken away hits time and again, night after night. Well, this one turns into a double play off his bat. Great job to Young and Wong. Man, oh man.
Yeah, pretty nice play by both of those guys. And look at Colton. He's back. Jumping. He almost missed that ball, too. Woo, that was close. That might have been a no catch in the NFL.
Here's Miles Michaelis, grounds it sharply to Trevor Story for the out.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, when you see other guys on the field jump for the guy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you see the pitcher jump on the line drive or on the home run. Get up, help me. But you never see the second baseman jump when he's about to be in the middle of the play.
No.
These guys are so much fun to be around, too. It's so funny.
Pretty good athleticism up the middle in that inning alone with Wong and DeYoung. And now it's Dexter Fowler, struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch back in the first inning. 2-0 Rockies. So Fowler getting a pretty good run here at the top of the lineup and has produced for the Cardinals here recently.
So what is this now? 13, 14 in a row, maybe, I think.
And a fly ball into left center. Tapia back on the track and makes the catch.
Yes. Talked about the ball not carrying the other night here, and I think people don't realize how big this outfield is. And we go to Cincinnati where the ball flies. We go to Milwaukee where the ball flies. The ball doesn't fly here, and it's a big outfield. And when you hit a ball up in the air and you got guys that can run like that, tough day for the hitter.
Do you think like a guy like Tapia and Blackman and some of the others that come from Colorado and they go into this ballpark, they see it one time a year, but you're out of the rarefied air of Coors Field, how important is it imperative that you take fly balls during BP just to make sure that you get a good judge of how the ball travels here?
Well, what's funny is it actually is probably a lot easier because the ball doesn't carry as much, and when you go back home I think it could throw you off again. I know you get used to it, but there's just like the other day we were out on the field in Cincinnati in early batting practice. It was so hot and the ball was flying, and I was running back after a couple balls and I was like, wow, that ball's going to go into the stands. Like they were hitting balls off underhanded flips in the seats. So I think, yeah, it's different, but I think to surprise, it's actually travels less, so it's a little bit easier to run after. I'm sure when they go back to Colorado and that ball travels, it's hard to get used to.
Top of the fourth, it's 2-0 Rockies, and we check in with Jim Hayes again.
Danny, Jack Flaherty will be one of 9 Major League players who will be paying tribute to their friend Tyler Skaggs during Players Weekend starting tomorrow. Skaggs passed away unexpectedly on July 1st, and Flaherty and the others will honor his memory by wearing "I Love You, Ty" on the back of their jerseys. Flaherty told me one of my buddies came up with the idea for that phrase, and we just ran with it. Flaherty got to know Skaggs through his agent, and they became really good friends, working out together and spending a lot of time together in the offseason. Dan, Jack starts tomorrow, and his friend will be very much in his thoughts.
Absolutely. And Players Weekend around Major League Baseball. Peter Lambert, 2 and 3, will go for the Rockies. And that's a base hit. Daniel Murphy, 2 for 2 in both singles to left field.
And there you go, right? Came in hot. Careful. Guy's going to get hot, stay hot. Watch out for the guys that are heating up on their way in.
There's Tapia, who singled to right and scored. Rockies have had 5 total playoff appearances in franchise history, back-to-back. First time was 1995. Then in 07, went to the World Series, swept by Boston. Won again in 09, and then 17 and 18. First time ever to go back-to-back playoff appearances. And they have one retired number in franchise history, and that's Todd Helton, number 17. May change if Larry Walker gets into baseball's Hall of Fame, and maybe it doesn't matter whether or not he gets into the Hall of Fame. That number should be retired.
Yeah, what am I missing here? They even had they were handing out sheets today that said Walker for the Hall of Fame. Well, retire his number first, and then maybe people start taking notice.
His numbers have jumped considerably here in the last couple of years to get in.
It looks like 59%, I think, last year, right?
And, you know, you look at it, too. It's a situation where he's been penalized for many seasons because of where he played. You know, people say, well, those numbers are inflated because you're at Coors Field. And while it probably didn't hurt, still the numbers are what they are. One of the great hitters of his era. and defenders and base runners, all around great player, as we saw here briefly in St. Louis.
And I think that, I guess, looking at my era, I'm thinking that, you know, no one's ever going to compare to Bob Gibson, and no one ever going to compare to Cy Young. But in your era, if you dominate your era like he did, like Pedro Martinez did, like basically Big Papi did, and a couple other guys, I mean, lots of guys, Clemens, all these guys, if you dominate that much like Larry Walker did, you know, hitting 360 and 340 and hitting the 300 and I don't know how many home runs, I mean, I think he deserves a better look than he's getting.
2-2 the count on Tapia. Signed as an amateur free agent in 2010 out of the Dominican Republic. The 2-2 could be 2. Tough to turn 2. Not a chance with his speed. They do get the lead man. So Tapia at first base. T-Mobile connection to the game as we go around Major League Baseball. Max Muncy, 33 overall this season. He's homered in 5 consecutive games. Orioles, speaking of home runs, 258 that they have allowed. Tied for most all time in a single season. That'll be shattered in Justin Verlander. 7 straight starts with 10 or more strikeouts. 5th player to achieve that feat in the history of the game, and the other 4 are in the Hall of Fame. Here's Ryan McMahon. McMahon was a great athlete in high school, Mater Dei High School in
Southern
California.
Right down the street.
2nd round pick by the Rockies. He was a quarterback in high school and had committed to go to USC to play both football and baseball. And the Rockies have a line of guys that were QBs. It turned out to be major league players. Todd Helton.
Maybe they got something there.
Seth Smith was one. Russell Wilson of the Seahawks.
Well, let me tell you what. Mater Dei is a big time school in California. And if you're a quarterback there, you're a stud. Yep. First of all, in high school. Second of all, if you get an offer to go to SC,
you're a stud.
You're even a bigger stud. And that just shows me what kind of athlete this guy can be, or at least what kind of quarterback he was going to be.
They moved him from third base in the Rocky system to second. Obvious reasons. A guy named Nolan Arenado is a fixture at third base, so he's played second and first. Blocked by Nolan, so got to find somewhere to go with him.
Well, I'm hoping they're not going to draft too many third basemen over the next couple of years.
Wouldn't think so. Boy, guys got buried in St. Louis with Pujols and Molina and yourself, Jimmy Edmonds.
I don't want to draft and move guys if I don't have to, unless a guy is just that good of a player.
But you get to a point, though, and it does bring up the draft question, philosophical question of an organization. Once you get through, and I've heard it's the top 5 picks, literally the first 5, and then after that it's kind of a crapshoot, but you take the best available player and then you figure it out.
I mean, you got a third baseman. If a third baseman can really hit, you got to play in third, you got to play in first, depending on his size, maybe left, right, how good of an athlete. If he's a quarterback, you can put him in center. He's got to have decent feet. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that you can do given the athletic ability and where his strong suits are.
It's a ball and 2 strikes on Ryan McMahon. Singled, picked up an RBI first time up. Good pitch in on his hands. Cardinals coming into play at 67 and 58. And the Rockies 58 and 69. After this weekend, Cardinals will have 3 games with Milwaukee, then back home, and then only 2 road trips remain in the regular season. One of those stops will be Denver. Hit down the left field line, slicing foul and out of play. Well, the schedule makers have done it again. In the final 10 games of the regular season, 7 of the 10 between St. Louis and Chicago. And that might be your division right there. After all that time.
You might see that matchup for the next couple years, too.
Starting in spring training and then the 6-month journey of a Major League Baseball season, and it might come down to a week and a half. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Miles Michaelis.
Is that breaking ball we talked about? I don't know if we can show that again. There it is right there. See, you don't see a hump, right? Can we show that again, guys, one more time? Watch the ball pop out of the hand. It doesn't pop up. And that's where, as a hitter, you're looking fastball, comes out of the hand. You see the curveball because of that action right there. The more that it jumps out of the hand, the more you recognize it right away. You can calm your body down a little bit, stay back, and put a good swing on it. That is why everyone has such trouble with the changeup, because you cannot decipher most fastballs from changeups unless you just don't have a good changeup.
DeYoung to Wong and a force play off the bat of Ian Desmond. Midway through 4. Big bats coming up. Goldschmidt, Ozuna, DeYoung. August 30th, Budweiser providing 30,000 fans 21 and older. The 9th Stein in the championship series. It's the 2004 NL Championship Beer Stein giveaway. Tickets at Cardinals.com/promotions. 2-0 our score. There's Paul Goldschmidt. Sends a fly ball down the right field line. Out of play. American Family Insurance dream fearlessly. Most career runs batted in against Colorado. Active players, Goldie at the century mark. He's had pretty good numbers against this right-hander. 11 for 27, 4 home runs. Kicks off tomorrow, our celebration of the Hall of Fame weekend here in St. Louis.
And Players Weekend once again. Saw those uniforms today, some of them. Actually saw the Rockies sideline girl with one in her hand. She is the daughter of one of the past Rockies owners who had passed away, and the jersey was amazing, and the jersey number was 88, and I found out that that was her dad's football number.
Is that right?
Yeah. And of course I stuck my foot in my mouth and asked if that's when she was born. And now I have to go apologize when I find her again.
You're just doing a little digging, trying to find out.
No, actually I was riding, I don't know what it is, I was riding up the elevator with some of the Rockies people, and she popped on the elevator and they introduced me, and I was looking at the jersey, and it was pretty cool.
Fair ball on the line and off the sidewall. Goldschmidt is held to a single.
It's a good job right there by Paulie. He ran hard the whole way. If that ball goes into the corner, it's an easy double, maybe a triple sometimes, and the ball bounced off the wall and shot right back out. And he made a nice turn and literally almost got halfway, and then you can always go back. No reason to keep running. Look at this right here. He knows it's a double. He's running hard. Oh, ball bounced off the wall. We gotta get back. Hard out of the box.
Marquez beat the Marlins, his most recent start. That was Saturday. 2 runs, 5 innings. 11-4 Rockies win, and he's been sharp so far tonight. A strike on Marcell Ozuna, who had a hit taken away from him because he had a little bloop in the center with runners at first and second. Wound up being a force play at second base. This guy will keep you on your toes. He works quickly, and you appreciate that.
Wow, quick, and he has got a quick arm and got good velocity. I guarantee you go down there in the clubhouse after the game, and they'll say he's a sneaky 95.
That's sneaky. Sneaky long. How long? It is gone! Just to the left of Big Ackland. Wait a minute. It's Big Macland, but there's no M. A high, towering blast out to left, and we're tied at 2.
You continue to amaze me more and more every day that I work with you.
The Nissan drive of the game.
I didn't think he hit it this good, and then I just kind of glanced down at Ozuna, and he was walking, and I thought, wow, this one's going to go a lot farther than I thought.
It's 28 home runs that he's allowed. Cardinals pick up the home run. Only the Marlins have fewer than the 18 hit by the Cardinals here in the month of August. And with one swing, we're tied up. DeYoung chops it left side. And he'll reach. You can understand, I bet, if you're Trevor Story, Arenado gets to everything. And you can see that there was just a little confusion. Is he going to come? Is he staying? What are we doing?
Yeah, and you know what? Watch the replay here, too. Nolan gets too close. You got to stop. Oh, and look at the ball bounce. If you can see that hop again, show that hop again, too. Watch the last hop, right? Watch it go left. Whoop. And it caught him. And then he had to shuffle his feet. Those are the things that I'm telling you that when you're watching a game you don't see if you're not paying attention. You're just watching the game as a whole. And if you watch a replay and you're like, oh, he should have caught that ball. But if you look, the ball kicks 8 inches to the left or to his right. And when you're on a dead sprint and you're trying to catch the ball in the middle of your body and all of a sudden it's on the outside of your right leg, it throws your momentum off. It throws your balance off. And when you try to just shift your glove over there, you hit him in the heel of the glove, and it just makes it tougher to make the play. And you get an error, and you're going, man, that's a tough error.
Yeah.
Like that ball. Like, did anyone see it kick right? You know.
So the error, number 8 on Trevor Story, and here's Molina fly to center field. 0 for 1 tonight. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball, double play ball. Arenado turned by McMahon, and the double play. Quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Ooh, break time. I'll check my balance.
Laundry.
That was white.
Danny, I want to say hi to Kathleen Durbin. She's at home. She's watching every game. Big, huge Cardinal fan. She found out a few months ago, 2 brain tumors removed, and found out she had lung cancer at the same time. And she has been dying to come back to the stadium, and then she lives for Cardinal baseball. Kathleen, when you're feeling better, I saw you at the store the other day. Now that we are better friends, I told you you're invited to come down anytime, and I hope you feel better, and I hope you enjoyed that home run too.
Base hit the other way. Tommy Edman. Ozuna's home run matches his total from a year ago, and he's done it in 52 less games.
It's a good piece of hitting right there. You can almost see his body slow down a tick as he recognizes the fastball outside and just tries to hit it where it's going. That's what's going to make this kid so good. He does hit the ball all over the field. You're not going to ever have to beat a shift.
Well, you open up hitting lanes if you can do that.
And you got to trigger, as a pitcher, you got to figure out, how am I going to pitch this guy? And then you end up just throwing fastballs away because it's better than giving up 2-run, 3-run homers. Because the only time he's going to hit one in this ballpark is on the pull side.
There's Harrison Bader, struck out his first time up. Strike 1, 2 outs, runner at first base.
Yeah, look at this. I don't know. I've seen a couple umpires change positions right here and move after the ball is delivered to home plate like that. I just don't really understand that. And they say they're trying to get in better position for the pickoff. But I mean, they've been playing 100 years before this year or last year, and they stood out there. I could see just standing on the line a little bit closer. I don't know why he has to run 3 steps or 2 steps. He's a 1.5 feet off the line. I mean, I look at that and it troubles me a little bit. I'm thinking to myself, I think we're trying to do too much. What's to say he doesn't move over to his right a couple of steps and straddle the line right there?
Mike Estabrook down at first. Tommy Edman is a perfect 17 for 17 in stolen bases. 9 of 9 at Memphis, and he's got 8 here in St. Louis so far in 2019.
Danny, those things, the umpires and stuff that goes on with baseball these days are the things that make me go,
Edman was running. Bader is out, and the Cardinals will take a look at that as he was flying down the first base line, looked to be out. Ali Marmol on the phone with Chad Blair in the video department, and there is no challenge.
Wow, that's close.
Marcell Ozuna with a home run. One swing, 2-2. You just love giving back. Growth poster is coming up. That'll be the Sunday, August 25th game. 10,000 kids 15 and under entering with a ticket receive a growth poster courtesy of Missouri Farmers Care. Marcell Ozuna, first home run in the last 12 games, and it was a no-doubter. Ball was crushed, and he's tied this game up 2-2. Tony Wolters and then Marquez and Blackman.
Isn't that funny how you sometimes can't tell how far the ball's hit when you're sitting up here, but you've been doing this for so long that we probably both have different ways of looking for the distance, because you know sometimes the ball sounds louder than it travels, and so you're calling the ball and I'm thinking, man, I hope you hit that. And so I just looked down at the hitter and he's strolling, and I was like, okay, it's Homer.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was going to go that far, but
that's the thing.
I'll tell you what, this guy's got so much power. It is ridiculous.
Exit velocities in the top 7 of all of Major League Baseball. If he barrels it, he's going to hit it hard somewhere. Here's a ground ball taken there by Goldschmidt. Michaelis to the bag. And that's how we start playing inning number 5. Marquez will be the batter. He tapped the ground ball back to Michaelis his first time up.
I'll tell you what, you know who's got power? Look at that guy right there we're looking at. This guy on the mound tonight, in batting practice the other day, he hit a ball above their bullpen to the right of Big Mac Land, if you can pan over a little bit, up on that walkway. Miles Michaelis. And everybody on the field stopped.
I've seen in BP.
Yeah, in BP.
Holiday and Pujols did it. And that's about it.
Above homers for health, but a little bit to the right, up in that walkway.
Wow.
And he said that someone told him that it bounced over the fence and onto the street.
So it almost went into Ballpark Village.
Well, it basically would have hit it if it didn't hit something else. But I don't even get a chance to see that many balls in batting practice go up there. And I had to look back and like, who hit that? It was Miles.
Miles Michaelis. Spring training, he homered off of Steven Strasburg. His first start as a Cardinal last year with Milwaukee. Remember that? He homered at Miller Park.
The best part about the whole story was like 2 days after this, he was facing a guy here at home. And the guy had thrown 82% fastballs first pitch all year. So he went up there with nobody on. He said he was going to cheat and try to swing as hard as he could. First pitch slider.
To the pitcher.
Yes. I go, how did your plan work out? He goes, he didn't throw you a fastball. I go, yeah, I saw the swing.
Uh-huh. Well,
that's why this game's so crazy.
TV doesn't do it justice how big, strong these athletes are. I mean, these guys are put together. Miles is really put together.
I'll tell you what. You know what? People talk about bigger, stronger, faster. You know what I've noticed in the locker room, and I'm not looking like at the guys. Like, they walk around with their shirts off, right? When I'm down there, there's not bodies on these guys like there were when I played. They don't have my body. They don't have Fernando Vina's body. They all got Mark McGwire's body and Scott Rowland's body, even leaner. Like Michaelis is put together, first baseman's put together. I mean, all these guys are ripped, and they're big and strong. No wonder the ball's flying. And it's like it's just this new era of athlete, like bigger, stronger, faster. It's amazing.
There's Charlie Blackmon after the double down into the right field corner by Marquez, the pitcher. Won the Silver Slugger last year. So he's at second base. Blackmon 0 for 2. He's had a 9-pitch at bat. And then it was the tremendous play by Wong on a backhanded play, over 100 miles per hour off the bat. And was charged, though, with an error on the throw to Goldschmidt.
And Miles has got to put that little thing in his hat, like who else? Somebody else had it in their hat.
Andrew Miller.
A couple guys. One of the younger right-handers in the starting rotation. I don't know if it's Dak or if it's Flaherty. Seems a little easier.
Well, this is how good he has been. Highest average Rockies all time, and he is in the top 5. And look at that list.
Wait, look at the guy on top.
Larry Walker, Matt Holliday, Todd Helton, Dante Bichette, his son now with the Blue Jays, and Charlie Blackmon. Go ahead run in scoring position, the pitcher Marquez. And Blackmon singles out to left. Marquez, though, stopped. And a position player would see that ball is going to get down easily and score.
Read. Well, that's a bad read, and that's just a product of not being on base a lot. And this is something that we talked about with Jack Flaherty, how he's been running the bases for the team, and he struggled through a couple of episodes. Well, guess what? Their pitchers are now running the bases during batting practice and getting reads off the bat just like that, and they run through it. It's like spring training, but they keep going. And if you don't do that, you don't get a feel for being out there on the bases, and you don't score on a ball like that.
Here's Trevor Story, 0 for 2. That base hit for Blackmon extends his hitting streak to 11. He's grounded into 2 double plays this year. 1 out, runners at the corners. Pulled foul. Rockies jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Ozuna tied it up 2-2 with a homer. And now a chance for Colorado to regain that lead. Nothing in 2. Michaelis is struck out 2 tonight.
By the way, Larry Walker hit .379 one year.
379.
379.
There's the 0-2.
Struggled the year before a little bit, though. He hit .363.
I was going to say, what, 340?
The year before that, he hit .366. 366, wow. And he didn't even lead the league in 1997. So his career average was .313. Pretty good. So that means that he had to hit on the road, by the way. He didn't hit 500 at home and 100 on the road.
Popped up. Good pitch. Wong with the catch. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University physicians, national leaders in medicine. And try Jack's $4.99 barbecue bacon double cheeseburger combo only at participating Jack in the Box restaurants.
You got 1 second for this now that we got a break in the action?
Yeah.
162 game average for Larry Walker. 313, 31 homers, 107 RBIs, 110 runs, 38 doubles, 19 stolen bases. He's one shy of 20 stolen bases every single year of his career, basically.
Incredible. Here's Arenado, and he hammers one out to deep left. Ozuna will watch it sail away. Nolan Arenado, 3-run homer. Hanging breaking ball, and Arenado with his 32nd of the year. A 2-out, 3-run homer.
Well, we talked about the hump in the breaking ball, and there it is, right? You can see it jump up and then back down. Even though everyone's looking fastball, if you see this hump, you have enough time to slow yourself down and stay back and put a good swing on a ball. And a lot of people say that that ball's already spinning in the direction of a home run, so when you hit it, it just keeps spinning back out the other direction.
It makes it a 5-2 Rockies lead.
Pretty good player.
To me, he's the only guy I've seen come close to the defensive abilities of Scott Rowland.
Oh, for sure.
Of the players of today. Now, I know there's some that'll say Mike Schmidt, Brooks Robinson,
well,
and
of course,
great players, obviously. But I'm talking about, within the last 10 years. And now you add in the fact that, he's not only a terrific defensive player, 6 Gold Gloves in his first 6 years, only player in the history of the game to do that, but he's also a threat at the plate, a big-time threat, and the Cardinals saw it up close. Murphy retired. Arenado, 3-run homer, his 32nd. Jack Flaherty will go tomorrow in our Budweiser What's on Tap. He has been nothing short of sensational since the All-Star break. One of the best pitchers in the game, and he'll go in Game 2. Our Budweiser What's on Tap will come your way at 6:30 if you have a ticket. Back to the 7:15 first pitch tomorrow. Nolan Arenado is now 1 RBI shy of his 5th consecutive 30 home run, 100-plus RBI season to go along with the 6 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, it's so hard to do, too. I mean, first of all, you have to be healthy all year, every year. And then second of all, you have to play well. You got to get pitched, too. You got people around you. Somebody special right there. That is for sure.
Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong coming up, 1 out here in the Cardinals half of the 5th, trailing 5-2. 13th start in the leadoff spot in the last 16 games for the Cardinals, Dexter Fowler. Shift on the right side, time called. He was called out on strikes back in the first and also flied out to center. And looks at ball 1.
You know what's interesting for Dexter, I think, too, is the last 30 games, he's only hitting about 235, being mixed up and being everywhere.
In the air, out to center, pretty well hit. Tapia back with room.
Last 15 games, he's hitting 320, and then within the last week, he's hitting 333. So it's almost like he got thrown into that leadoff role, and he is just taking it by storm, embracing it and going after it. And I was saying the other day, he's a leadoff hitter, true and true. Like, he came up as a leadoff hitter.
That's what he did.
And so you put him in a familiar position, you put him out there in center field more often, and the guy feels like he's a part of something, and he just goes a little bit more extra and a little bit extra.
Here's Colton Wong. I don't know if you remember, we were playing golf. It was us 3 in spring training and talking about where he was at in a lineup. And he said, well, I've been all over the place. And, I was willing to do whatever Mike Matheny wanted or Mike Schilt. But he likes to lead off.
I think he likes to play. I really do. And
that's probably better put. Yep.
And I think that I mean, you're right. He does like to lead off, but I think he likes to play. And I'm telling you, and I said this in spring training. I said he's the guy that I would put in center field spot when Bader can't play every day or is hurt or something's wrong.
Slowly hit. And that is a 9-pitch inning.
And everybody said the numbers don't support that. And I'm just like, you don't need to look at the numbers. Just look at the guy go out there and do his job.
Top of the 6th rolls in. We had about a 45-minute rain delay. It's 5-2 Rockies, thanks to the 3-run homer hit by Nolan Arenado. Tapia, McMahon, and Desmond for the Rockies. And a fastball for a strike. Tapia has singled to right, scored back in the 2nd inning, and grounded into a fielder's choice. "25 hits in his last 15 games for this young man. He has been producing." The 1-1. Ouch.
You know what I like about that, what you just said, he's been producing? I remember a couple months ago, and I saw him take a couple of bats, and I said, I don't think this kid could play here. So, honestly, watching a couple of bats, and I'm glad that he is, because, yes, I love that, though, because you can always see someone on a bad day. And if you don't get to watch them enough, just like, I don't know why this came up today, but people are talking about the Hall of Fame vote, how there's people voting for the Hall of Famers that have never seen a guy play a day in their life. So it just goes to show you how wrong you can be about people. And I'm glad that I'm wrong, because I love the fact that when young guys come up and they prove that they can play and stay here.
Tapia grew up very close in the Dominican to Alfonso Soriano, who is very close with his brothers. And he said Soriano had a huge impact on his career. He could play a little bit. Fly ball shallow left, drifting near the line. It's Ozuna. Saturday, August 31st, 30,000 fans, 16 and older, take home a Cardinals road gray jersey courtesy of Country Bob's, and that jersey features an embroidered front logo. Get your August 31st tickets. Reds will be here. Cardinals.com/promotions.
You looked at me like I was crazy when I said that.
Yeah,
yeah, I admit when I'm wrong.
No. You're
and honest.
McMahon, a base hit into right. His second hit, he's 2 for 3. I listen intently, partner, when you start talking about players on the field and you say, hey, watch this, or he needs to be looking here. I've often referred to my partner Jim Edmonds as a savant, a baseball savant.
And then you had to tell me what that meant.
And then when it comes to life, well, we'll just stick with the baseball.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
One of my best friends in the world, Jimmy. Got to be able to give you a little trouble. A strike to Ian Desmond. If I didn't give you trouble, that means you don't like the person.
Yeah, I got you.
You remember the last year that the Expos Washington franchise was in Montreal?
Yes, you say this every time we do a game. You say this. I'm hoping you're going to talk about something good and not about me stuffing you in my locker.
Well, no, you didn't stuff me in the locker.
I'm kidding.
But you know what? I wasn't even going to go there. But I was going to bring up the fact that Desmond was drafted by the Expos.
Oh, okay.
Third round in 04 out of high school, last season of Expos baseball, and there's a strikeout.
That's amazing.
But
it's 04, huh? Was last year the Expos?
Yeah, and now you've
opened up a book.
Yeah, you made me think about that one time when you
I was yelling at you.
Yeah, in Montreal. I never forgot it. Clearly.
So I was upset we were playing in Montreal.
Probably right. Your knees were barking when that turf.
No, I actually didn't mind the turf that much. It did make you sore, but
I got to be honest. I miss Montreal. I don't miss the ballpark, but I miss a lot of other things. Here's Walters, who picked up a RBI and hits that into left center. There's Bader. Coming up for the Cardinals, Goldschmidt, Ozuna, who's hummered, and also DeYoung. 5-2. Back in St. Louis, and the Rockies here in Game 1 with a 5-2 lead over the Cardinals. They've out hit St. Louis 8-5. Birds have committed a couple of errors. Tums tickets, $6 tickets. When the Giants are here, that's a 4-game series. $6 tickets for you. Cardinals.com/Tums. Goldschmidt, Ozuna, DeYoung. Way out in front, pops it up and out of play. Growing up, Marquez's father used to hand out Christmas toys through his company every holiday season. And this past Christmas, this young man kept that tradition alive. Gave out a ton of toys to underprivileged children in his hometown in the San Felix, Venezuela area. He also does a lot of not only that, but buying food and clothing for those in Venezuela. You played there, you told me. I mean, it's
crazy,
obviously,
to say the least,
in a very tough spot right now politically, and unrest in their country. 3-1 pitch. Goldschmidt 2 for 2, 2 singles, both to left field. Scored on the 2-run homer hit by Ozuna in the 4th. Soft liner caught by McMahon, and that's the first out. Back in the 4th inning, Marcell Ozuna. Jimmy was watching him, and let's just say Marcell knew it.
Well, take a look. This is how I figure up. They didn't show it, but that's all right. See where it lands first. Up in Big Ack Land, is what you said?
Just to the left of Big
Ack Land.
Ack Land.
Oh, man, you kill me every night. Every night you come up with something. I love it. Teach me so much.
And likewise, you gotta have a little fun up here. Kubota Power Stats. Big numbers against Colorado in his career. You're getting the knack of this TV thing. You like it, don't you?
I do. And you know what? I had the best time of my life the last 3 days working with Rick. Because we're so close.
Rick Ankiel.
Yeah, Rick Ankiel. Sorry. Yeah, not the other Rick.
You don't.
I don't want to work with him.
No, I had to work with Horton. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you got the raw end of the deal the last three days.
Right.
The wrong Rick. Hey, man, you got the wrong Rick.
You got the wrong Rick.
But we had so much fun, and actually Ricky just came in the booth and said, "Hey, how was it last night?" Ricky Horton. He says, "Was it long?" I said, "No, not when I was working with Rick." We basically stole the show from poor Scotty. I don't think he knew what to do with himself. He's probably looking at us like these guys are out of their minds.
He's probably happy.
But I mean, Ricky and I have known each other for 20 years, so it's almost like we can see what each other are thinking and talking about. And you know what really surprised me? And I'm saying this all in all honesty. I was surprised at how much knowledge of the game that he retained from going from this young kid who I thought really not that he didn't care, but was just out there flying by the seat of his pants on the mound, to just like, hey, ho hum, I'm just going to go play center field. I got a rocket for an arm. And then, but when he was talking last couple nights, I'm like, wow, Ricky, that impresses me, because I feel like he did, and I said this last night, he was a great student, like, and I was the coach, because he says that I taught him a lot. I go, you actually were listening, like all these little things. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, I talked to a lot of guys and they're just like, I can't do that. But he was saying all those things you taught me, and I picked him up, and I said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And I'm like, it's only just paying attention. But the stuff that he was saying over the last 3 nights, I was impressed with. And I tell you what, when he ever gets done and completely finishes his baseball, which I think is coming soon, he's going to make a good analyst.
Out to center. At the wall. Goodbye. DeYoung connects. 2-run homer. And Paul DeYoung with number 23. And it's back to a 1-run lead for the Rockies. BJC Healthcare difference maker Paul DeYoung smoked it.
Spinning slider right here, a little dot, hanger, eyes down in the zone, head down, full extension. Pretty nice swing right there.
Yadier Molina. And by the way, to just kind of finish the thought on Ricky Ankiel, I felt the same way. I did some games in spring training with him the last couple of years, and he blew me away with,
well, how much he remembers of both sides of the game, right?
Well, that's what was interesting. I said, okay, if you're a pitcher here, what are you doing? And then he got into it, and then I said, now if you're a hitter, what are you looking at? It was really interesting.
What's funny to me is he told a story on the air, and this is what I don't understand why more pitchers don't see this. He said, I was hitting one day, and this was when he was pitching, and he said a guy threw me a 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside black for a strike, and I said to myself, I can't hit that pitch.
So why don't I do it when I'm pitching?
And he goes, a light went on and said, well, I mean, and he could hit.
Yeah,
especially he could pull the ball. He had a good top hand. And he said, I'm going to start doing that. Instead of just throwing away and then throwing a breaking ball.
Yeah.
And he said it changed his game a little bit. He got a little bit more aggressive. But, like, that kind of stuck out in my mind. I was like, whoa, that's pretty good. Like, I feel like pitchers don't understand that, like how hard it really is to hit. Pitchers give hitters too much credit, and hitters give pitchers too much credit.
Agreed. I say it all the time. I mean, the best in the world reach base 3 out of 10. I mean, start thinking about it, you know. That's to the right of us, and my partner out of his seat for the first time since he started doing games.
I was just looking to see how far it was if I fell over the thing and how far I was going to go down.
That's the first time.
No, I knew that ball was coming up here, but I also knew it was approximately 16.5 feet to our right.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it hit
16.5.
And it hit 2 inches above that line right there.
Okay. 2 walks in the game, and both coming in this inning.
I see you, Paulie.
Nobody up and throwing yet for the Rockies in their pen. Well, the Cardinals only 1 home run in the 3 games against Milwaukee and winning 2 of 3, and yet here we are 6 innings into this series, and they've got a pair of 2-run homers. That's the unique aspect, I think, of having Bud Black as a manager, is that he's not only, you know, pulling the strings, but he's a former very good pitcher and pitching coach. That's a unique perspective, especially when you think about managing a Coors Field.
Well, they talk about him being so good with the pitching staff. I mean, no wonder, right? Guy's pitched his whole career. He's done a nice job of paying attention to the game over the course of being a manager, and he handles the pitching staff well. And I think managing people is probably the hardest part of the game, and I really truly believe, and I know Mike Shilt's in charge of this team, I really truly believe that they lean on their coaching staff a lot. And if I was Bud Black and I'm a pitcher, clearly you don't know everything about the game, and you always got to go to someone and say, hey, what about this? Well, you got to trust those guys next to you, and you also got to lean on them and lean on them full time, and I believe that's what good managers do. You got Mike Schilt has, right now, if you think about this, and I'm not sure about Ollie, but I think I can say, he's got a manager coaching third, a manager coaching first. He's a manager. Ollie's been a manager.
Line to left and a diving catch, Ian Desmond.
Ollie's been a manager in the minor leagues, and he's got Mike Maddox, who I think has probably got about 30 years of experience in Major League Baseball. So, like, that's impressive. And you know what else is impressive? this play right here, and this guy is one heck of an athlete. He's gone, what, from shortstop to center field to right field, first base.
He's played everywhere.
And he's a legit shortstop.
We went to Denver, and Ian Desmond specifically sought you out to try to pick your brain about what was working in the outfield and how you get better. Just saw that shot of Ali Marmol, and it's 2 balls, no strikes.
And you know
on Bader.
what? The guy on the left right there, Ali Marmol, he's turning into one of my favorite people. He has gone out of his way to make me comfortable. He has gone out of his way to ask me questions and get me involved with the team. And he's asked for feedback, and he's gone out of his way to just allow me to be me in the locker room. And clearly he's underneath Mike Shildt, but that guy right there, I can personally say, has turned into a really good friend. And I love to listen to him. He's got a ton of knowledge. Like, he's one of those guys, right? That he's grooming himself right now. He's going to be a manager in the big leagues.
I would agree.
And those other 2 guys on both corners, base coaches, both of those guys could be managers in the big leagues.
3-1 to count.
So you got 4 managers sitting in there right now. One of the best baseball people you'll ever meet, and another one right there.
Matt Carpenter has grabbed a bat. He's on deck just in case. Hammered foul by Bader. Now 3-2. Dominic Leone was just called up before the game, and he's getting loose in the Cardinal pen. Junior Fernandez sent back down to Memphis, but I'm sure we'll see him in September, if not before. Runner off with a pitch. That's Yadier Molina, the 3-2. Off the end of the bat and popped out. On the infield, Trevor Story, and he makes the catch. Paul DeJong with home run number 23. He's driven in now 59 and cuts a lead to 1. DeJong to make it 5-4. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Hey, Dan, Jose Martinez still dealing with the right AC joint sprain. He says it's slowly improving, but right now he's limited to hitting off a tee and some light throwing. Jose was hoping to get reevaluated at some point today so they can determine if he's ready for more activity. Danny says there's not much pain anymore, but he can still feel it pinching. It'd be nice to get that guy back in the lineup.
No doubt. And Mike Shildt now, another arm in his bullpen. He's going to go right to him. Dominic Leone, third stint with the club. Or Chevy called to the pen. Been an up and down season for the Cardinal right-hander, Dominic Leone.
You're right, it has. And I mean, more ways than one, right? He's been up and he's been down. He's been up and he's been down. He's pitched pretty well, and he's had a couple struggles, but all in all, he's got some good stuff, and I like his makeup. He just hasn't really gotten over the hump where he's been able to just stay here an entire year.
Jonathan Daza, the pinch hitter for Marquez, and 1 out. So now it's up to the bullpens and back to the top of the lineup. Charlie Blackmon, then Trevor Story. 5-4 our score. Warming up, getting loose in the bullpen for the Rockies, Yency Almonte. Carry 8 right-handed pitchers and a lefty. They've got 9 relievers in their pen, 1 lefty. So 1 out and nobody on. Blackmon looks at a strike. And a ground ball that's hit to Colton Wong. Got it on the short out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And you see guys on the out, you know, it's great up here because it's such a better angle, but can see a couple times I saw Arenado come get a ball on the double play where if he would have waited a little bit longer, would have eaten him up. And then Colton with that stab, he kind of had to go back, but he made a bad throw. But right there he comes and gets. You can see him like he wanted to wait, and that the second to last hop bumped up, and then it throws you off. So you're like, okay, I got to come get it. We have plenty of time when you're playing back there, and that is why those middle infielders are so far back. The ball gets hit at them pretty hard. Got to have time to get around it, more room to run.
Strike one on Trevor Story, hitless tonight, over 3. 6 innings for Michaelis, 5 runs on 8 hits, struck out 3. No walks, gave up the 3-run homer to Arenado in the 5th with 2 outs. And put the Rockies up at that point 5-2. Cardinals get a 2-run homer by DeYoung, cut the lead to 5-4. 1 pitch to Story. Ground ball. Quick inning for Dominic Leone. 5-pitch inning. Time to stretch. We'll have a pinch hitter, then Fowler and Wong coming up. Of 2 pins and the comparison of the bullpens of the Rockies and Cardinals. That's maybe why the Rockies are under 500 instead of being at 500 or above. You know, the starters have been down this year from where they were a year ago, but the bullpen has been as well. And now it's Yency Almonte. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Matt Carpenter will pinch hit. Had a nice visit with his dad today, longtime baseball coach. And as I was telling him about Matt, I said, you know, it's been a tough year, but your son is handling it with class, dignity, as you know, working hard, all those things. And he started to tear up. He said, I'm just so proud of Matt and the person that he's become, more so the person than he is the ball player. And so we know he's a heck of a player when he's right. Like to see him have a nice moment and make a little run. Here's a 1-0. Have you talked at all or much with Matt?
You know what? I don't really like go out of my way to search for him that often. We talk, like when we're near each other, we talk and we talk about hitting, but there's like this weird thing about struggling in the big leagues, and you get too many people in your ear.
Absolutely.
And you know, if I'm sitting around and Yachty and Matt and we're all sitting in a room together and they start talking hitting and I'm sitting there, then I wait for them to bring me into it, and then I'll talk to them about it, or I'll talk to Yachty about it, or whoever. But I'm not going to just walk up to him and say this, because first of all, that's Jeff's job, and that's the way Mike Schilt wants it. And then, like I said, there's just so many. I just worry that there's just too many people, and that's what Harrison and I talked about. And I mean, Harrison and I have a different relationship. I don't, you know, they want me to talk to him. I don't ask for permission, but he was just like, everyone's telling me to do something different. And I said, you got to be yourself. But I said, you got to slow down. You know, you got to learn each day, each night. You got to understand why you're swinging at certain pitches, why you're not. Why do you take a pitch? Why are you not ready to hit? Why are you not seeing sliders? Why are you playing defense this way? That's like every day when you get home, it's like, what happened today? Or during the game, what is going on right now that I can and cannot control? And what can I do to fix it? And that's why I think sometimes when you go down to AAA, people can find themselves, because all of that stuff disappears, and then eventually nobody really cares about you for a while, except for the guys that are in your dugout. You're not getting phone calls from all over the world because you're on TV every night. You don't run into your best friend's uncle's brother that coached you in Little League, and you know,
needs tickets.
You don't get all that down there, and you just have time to clear your head. And like the best word ever is to reset. And I am thankful that I never had to do that.
3-2. Leadoff man, the pinch hitter, Carpenter. Still alive.
True story. I got called up on September 7th, I believe, 1993, 2000. And I was walking out and I said, see you guys and good luck. And oh, by the way, if you ever want to see me again, you're going to have to come up there because I ain't coming back. True story.
A little cocky.
But I meant it in like a, like I don't want to, this is not where I want to play.
Sure.
Who wants to play in AAA all the time?
Good at bat. And the tying run is aboard.
But you better be cocky if you want to play at this level.
You
in
bet.
Some aspect in life.
There's Dexter Fowler. Twice he has flied to center, and he's hit the ball well. He stung the ball on those flyouts, and he's also struck out looking over 3 tonight. Brad Thompson just texted me and said I only got sent down, I don't know, maybe 10 times. Gets easier.
What they used to call it, the Memphis shuttle. He didn't get sent down that many times, did he? Did he really say that?
Yeah.
I can't remember him going up and down. Maybe that, you know what, everyone has, pitchers especially, bullpen pitchers.
Well,
everyone
sure,
has that
guys.
one year where it's like, oh my gosh, again. And you almost know it, and you accept it because you know at least you'll be back.
Junior Fernandez last night, 2 innings. That first inning was really struggling. Goes back out, gets another inning, but you kind of sense the Cardinals want to be protected in their bullpen. He gets it down, and he did.
We had Rick and I had a conversation the other day about how the game has changed so much, and the one way that you can save your bullpen is managing AAA and the big leagues by managing your IR. Or is it IL? Why do I can't figure this out?
IL.
IL.
Oh, sure, you stay on the major league roster.
No, but I'm saying is like, yeah, you can rotate those guys if you can play that game where, if someone always gets hurt at some point, but then you can also manage, like you can bring up an extra guy here.
Fowler with a drive. Out to deep right. He had stung the ball. And now he gets the result. All night long. Line drive. Line drive. And this one, a 2-run homer for Dexter. You could see it coming, Jimmy.
2 balls good. One both of them deepest part of the ballpark. And then there, he got another fastball right down the middle. And smashed it. And you know what? He knew it. He finally hit one that was going to go over the fence.
It's the third 2-run homer the Cardinals have hit tonight. And they have their first lead, 6-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. Dexter Fowler with his 15th home run.
I don't know if too many people deserve it more than him after what he went through last year. Got him.
He hit it 386, then 387. First 2 at bats. This one 401 and adios.
And he's done a really nice job this year too. 3-0 homer. That was a 2-0 homer. That's the thing. He's got that. Rod Carew told me when I was younger, if you're going to swing at a 2-0 and a 3-0 fastball, you better be on time. And I was always a little bit, I hit the ball the other way, so I was a little bit uppercut, a little bit, it looked like I was always a little bit late. Dexter Fowler doesn't have that problem. He's got so much top hand that he can be on time all the time in those counts.
DJ Johnson has just picked up a baseball in their bullpen. There's a 1-1 pitch to the second place hitter, Colton Wong, 1 for 3 tonight. Fowler now with an RBI in 4 straight games, 1 shy of his career high of 5.
Well, you said it right. They're going to come back.
As Wong waves at it and strikes out.
Now Mike's really mad about that rain out. It's pretty much right down the middle.
Cardinals have had 33 comeback wins this year, 7th most in baseball. And now they've come back down 2-0, then 5-2, and have their first lead 6-5.
Speaking of comebacks, did you catch that Giants Cubs game yesterday? Just the box score?
A few runs were scored.
We were watching it. It's one of the nice things about being in the green room across the street is you have TVs all over the place. You know that huge massive green room you have over there? And we were watching that game as it was unfolding. I'm like, what is going on over there?
Here's a 1-0 pulled foul. Speaking of good at bats, Goldschmidt had some good at bats against Marquez too tonight.
Yeah. Like he jumped on an early fastball, and then he saw a couple pitches. Could probably have another one right here where he hit it into left field bullpen. Wouldn't be bad.
Out in front, Walters pounces on it. Well, I felt like something was coming with the at-bats that Fowler was taking, and maybe Yadier Molina did as well. Watch him in the background, left side of the screen.
Oh, he did. 2-0, just like the 3-0, and you know it's coming. And that's the thing, though. When you play this game, you see it. Dexter Fowler is that guy. He's that guy with the top hand that you know if he throws a fastball down the middle, he's going to hit it.
That's great stuff.
And
there.
then you know a guy that has a fastball that stays on the same plane matches up perfect for that situation.
Great stuff from our truck guys and gals that work night in and night out with us. They caught that, and clearly Yadi thought something good. And then you could see, with his reaction with Dexter when he got to the dugout. Great stuff, guys. Tom Mee, our longtime director, Brian Shapiro, Brian McCann, Keith O'Brien, and his assistant, Keith Oberman. Here's Marcelo Ozuna, who is homer tonight. He's walked in a 2-run homer. And the 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Murphy over near the tarp and out of play. Remember, if you have a ticket, 7:15 tomorrow. On the air at 6:30.
Well, it was a little bit earlier than tonight's game started.
Good point. We got going about 7:30 tonight.
But a little bit later than the time on the schedule.
6:45 was our scheduled first pitch. And the 0-2. Struck him out. He knew it.
Good pitch. Buckled him.
Pinch hitting, a walk by Carpenter. Then Fowler ahead in the count, and Yadi said, I think something good is coming. Yep. Bye-bye. The third 2-run homer hit by the Cardinals tonight. Dexter Fowler with his 15th home run, and it's now a 6-5 St. Louis lead. Giovanni Gallegos will have Arenado, Murphy, and Tapia. 50th appearance for the right-hander. A couple of days of rest or Chevy called to the pen. His Hyundai pitch arsenal. Last 15 appearances for the Cardinal right-hander, a .46 ERA. And tough on lefties, and you've got after Arenado 3 in a row.
And he just gets to go to Starbucks and gets unnoticed.
We saw that in Seattle. Jimmy and I sitting down reviewing our game tape in our 3-hour
meeting
that we always have, and Giovanni walked in and walked out. No one even noticed him. Here's the 0-1. Giovanni was kicking the soccer ball around today with Adam Wainwright.
Nice. Good for him.
Before the game.
Before the storm.
That'll carry to Bader. Bueno and Gallegos were promoting the soccer match coming up, putting together a promotional video for that. Soccer coming to Busch Stadium. You can find out more on the Cardinals website, and there'll be even more excitement with that as MLS is now coming to St. Louis. Miller will come into the ballgame and get the lefties coming up, and then you also have Martinez available as well. Gallegos gets Arenado. It's a 1-run St. Louis lead. By the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 3 2-run homers hit by St. Louis. Andrew Miller is into the ball game. Couple lefties coming up, and he might even stay in the game for a third. They have Garrett Hampson on their bench from the right side. Yonder Alonso and Dom Nunez from the left. Chevy called to the pen.
You talk about Andrew Miller. You know what I learned yesterday? The first 2 games against Milwaukee. I learned once again why Tony La Russa was so successful. For the first night, they had the 2 lefties back to back. Miller comes in, gets them both out, or gets through the inning with no trouble at all. Next night they're separated. Do you know how many times Tony sat me down and said, hey, I'm going to put you in front of Mark today because they got a lefty and they got another lefty in the bullpen, or I'm going to put you behind Mark today because they don't have any lefties. Like way ahead of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Not like, oh, shoot, I missed that. Tomorrow night we're going to switch you guys up.
Well, that's why in this series, Webb and Miller, Gallegos, all good against lefties, are imperative in terms of trying to pick up wins. Very important in this 4-game series.
But as a casual fan, not only do you not understand that, and you probably can't or don't catch it when we're talking about it, like you're thinking, oh, they just, change the lineup up. I get it. Okay, Miller came in. What's the big deal? They can't hit lefties. But the fact that La Russa was already ahead of that and was coming to us and saying, hey, this is why I'm putting you in the 4-hole tonight and not tomorrow, and you're going to be in the 2-hole, or amazing.
Lefties this year, .213 the average against Miller. Toppy at the plate. He's hitting .308 against lefties this year.
Well, he's got that swing. He can go with the ball down the line. He's already seen him hit a ball to left field. They're shading him to left field. He lets the ball get deep.
Nothing into the count. He singled to right, scored back in the second, grounded into a fielder's choice, and flied out to left. The 0-2. Oh, we have a moment. Want to congratulate one of the folks that makes it work here in St. Louis, and that is Tony Fiera. And Tony and his wife just had a brand new baby, Mackenzie Olivia. Made her debut at 10:23 last night. And Tony, the minor league operations manager. Tony and Lisa, congratulations. Brand new addition and a new Cardinal fan. And Mackenzie Olivia, she may not know it, but she likes this pitch. It's a good one. Midway through 8 at 6-5. Fredbird and Friends. It's the elementary school program that you just don't want to miss. Redbird and Friends. Kindergarten through 5th grade, Cardinals.com/school program. Many of the former players are a part of that. Al Hrabosky, Brad Thompson, Kyle McClellan. DJ Johnson is the new pitcher. Our Chevy called to the pen.
You and Brian Shapiro just said in my ear, in your ear? No.
He didn't say it in my ear.
He said that Brad Thompson was underneath that uniform of Fredbird because he's never seen Fred and Brad at the same time.
He needs to watch the Fredbird show.
Oh, that's TV, man. Everything's fake. Come on.
Probably right. Here's Paul DeYoung.
I've lived it. I know it.
2-run homer back in the 6th. His 23rd of the year. And a fastball by Johnson and a strike.
That's why you never see Fredbird in the 9th, because Brad's got to get back to the studio. There you go. See, that is Brad. He's got those moves.
Here's the 0-1. Fought off and nothing at 2. All kinds of room on the right side of the infield. And the 0-2.
What's really unusual about that for me, they got the center fielder and right center field a little bit, right fielder a little bit to the other way. Left fielder's almost a pull, but he's been pulling everything this year. And to a fact that he's trying to change it, but maybe they're not watching the same thing that, well, there you go. Maybe they're just going to pitch him away until he doesn't swing.
7 strikeouts in the Cardinals lineup, and a reminder that St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. Carlos Martinez has been throwing in the Cardinal pen. We'll see how Mike Schill wants to play it. You've got McMahon, the lefty, 2 hits tonight, leading off the inning. And then you have Desmond, and then you have another lefty. You could stick with Miller if you wanted. You could start the inning with Miller. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have much of a cushion to mess around with, so whoever goes out there better have the attention to detail right away. No walks, no messing around, no trying to get loose out there.
Next by Johnson. Nice strike. Just got a piece. Almonte pitched the 7th, came in with a 1-run lead. It's 5-4, and then the home run hit by Dexter Fowler. Popped up and out of play. One-two pitch. 2-2.
A lot of beards on the field tonight. Johnson, Charlie Blackmon, Brebbia, some big beards.
And that's out of play.
Can you imagine that Brebs doesn't shave from day one to day 1 what is it, 81 or 82 or whatever it is they play now, or as far as days on and days off. I think they actually have a couple more now. Can you imagine not shaving for 190 days?
No. But I couldn't do what these guys do.
Oh, I love the fact that what people look like before and after. That is unbelievable. I mean, maybe no one could take him serious on the left, so he's like switched it up. It's awesome. He's a gamer too. That's what I love most about him.
That's straight Duck Dynasty.
But he trims it. He must trim it, because by now that thing would be so long.
Hey, Willie Robertson would
straight Duck Dynasty. And one of those guys, and I don't know if all of them, I think is either Willie or his brother, shaved his beard.
Oh yeah, once the show was over.
They were great athletes in high school, and the dad was I think the backup quarterback to, or starting.
LSU,
he was a starting quarterback or the backup. I think he was a starting quarterback
at Louisiana Tech.
He was a starting quarterback ahead of someone that was really good too.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yes, I used to love it. Actually, Willie was here a while back, and
it was Terry Bradshaw, by the way. He was the backup to Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, he was the backup to Terry Bradshaw. Yeah.
And Willie came in for Christian Day.
He came in one time, and I ended up hanging out with him all night, and we had dinner and stuff. Man, he was funny. A couple of guys were together. I knew he was with another guy who was on another show, like one of the Gator shows. That dude was nuts. Willie's a nice guy, down to earth.
Very much so.
I think he's put on a few pounds since high school, and clean shaven football star. But and you know what? I think he's a Cardinals fan too, so he might be listening right now.
He signed an autograph for my mom. I had never really seen the show. I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And then my mom said, "Did you make sure and tell him I said to tell Cy hello?" Down into the corner.
You're like, who's Cy?
Molina chugging the third. Second and third. Edman his second hit.
Well, it's unbelievable that we're saying this, but another great at bat by Tommy Edman. Base hit to left, double to right. I think after you play in 1,000 games, maybe as a catcher, they should probably be able to give you a courtesy runner.
New rule, huh?
Like in Little League.
Little League?
Yeah. Landon's team. Last guy that made the out has to go back out there and run for the catcher.
Go run. Infield in. Harrison Bader. This is a spot where he has come through one time this year with a runner at third, less than 2 outs.
The Cardinals have really struggled in this spot. Out of all the things this year, this spot. Not runners in scoring position, but the runner on third and less than 2 outs.
And the 1-0. I mean, that's the pitch right there, and he's done it time and again since he's come up where he's not chased it.
He's slowing down a little bit.
Yes,
he's finally starting to slow down. And the other thing, too, is maybe he realized that this is how they were pitching him. He just didn't realize it early. You're just like, everything's going so fast, and I got to get a hit. And then you don't start to really think. And I think I learned the most I ever learned about baseball the year that I missed. And to be honest with you, you can't
right
take that pitch right there. That's the pitch you have to hit. Because there are things that you learn about this game as you get older, and one of them is you have to hit when you're in a hitting count. You got to be ready to hit a fastball. And the other thing is you got to learn what to take and how to take it. If you can learn those two things, you become a much better hitter, and it makes it a lot easier on you.
2-1 pitch to Harrison Bader, trying to add some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out, runners at second and third. Lane Thomas at the on-deck circle.
So if I'm hitting right here, he threw me a 2-0 fastball. Then he threw me a 2-1 slider to see if I was going to be over amped up. You got to look fastball right here and be ready to hit. But it can't be so ready to hit that if a fastball comes, you either swing too hard or hook it, because you want to still be able to recognize the slider like that. And I'm okay with that right there. That's the pitch you have to be able to take. And if he can make that pitch again and you can't swing the bat at it, then you just tip your hat. If I was a betting man, he's going to throw that same pitch again right here.
3-2 with 1 out. Inside, and they're all loaded up for Lane Thomas. There has been no rookie in Cardinals history with 2 grand slams in 1 year. That could change here. Good at bat by Bader on base for the first time. Bases loaded and 1 out. Cardinals have received 5 walks in the ballgame. Budweiser plays of the game and 3 2-run homers. Ozuna, DeYoung, and then Fowler. Budweiser plays of the game. So here we go. Lane Thomas, bases loaded.
Just take a nice easy base hit up the middle. Be fine with me.
I'd love to see a grand slam.
I'm not going to get greedy, but I would too. I'll even take a walk.
And the 1-0 pitch to Lane Thomas. One ball, 1 strike. One and 2.
Pretty good breaking ball right there. Bit of a down action on this. That's that one that doesn't hop up out of the hand again. Tough to lay off because you don't see it till it's too late.
In the hole now. 1 ball, 2 strikes with the bases loaded, and the next to Lane Thomas. Thomas hits into a double play. 6-4-3. We head to the 9th. And it'll be a 1-run St. Louis lead. He stung the ball again. Carlos Martinez. Chevy called to the pen. 1-run lead for the St. Louis Cardinals here in the 9th inning. McMahon, Desmond, and Walters 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup for the Colorado Rockies.
You know, it's funny you say, like, watching the game at home, right? Like 6, 7, and 8. Oh, that's awesome. Bottom of the order. Breeze through it, right? No big deal. I was just thinking right there. One guy gets on, they got to choose a guy off their bench. Well, any team in general should take 1 at bat in this situation. It could be a guy who's their best player is just having a night off. So you come in the game, you get 6, 7, and 8, but if someone gets on, you got the 9-hole spot wide open for whoever to come in and give you a good at bat. So it's not as easy as it looks.
Gotcha.
It's kind of the gist of the conversation.
Absolutely.
If you know what I mean.
I gotcha.
At least you do.
Nasty. Strike 1. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
You can tell he's a pull hitter by that swing.
One-two pitch, and it's a ball.
Pretty good pitch. You got two pretty much, one veteran and one guy been in the league for 6 or 7 years walking it off. That's a pretty good pitch.
That one definitely strike three.
You know, you have to swing for it to be a strike in this league.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Sometimes. Pretty good changeup right there. Look at the spin on this. It's filthy.
So 1 out, nobody on, and Ian Desmond 1 for 9, 5 strikeouts, couple of walks against Carlos Martinez. Strike one. Desmond tonight, couple of strikeouts. Falls behind, 0-2.
Danny, what do you got? Got to be careful. Got the slider that you can go to.
I was going to go slider.
Me, I would love to see him throw a fastball up and away. Not like crazy up and away, but I'm making him old school hit the ball to right field if you're going to beat me.
I got slider. You got fastball. I bet you're right. Let's see. 0-2 the count.
Yep. See, he's telling him outside. Do not throw it down the middle. I love it. Fastball away. Good pitch. One problem with that to me is, and that's a great pitch, that ball's down. As soon as you see it as a hitter, you're like, that's a ball. But if that's up, it's in your face a little bit more, and you're like, oh, and then you've either flinched or you have fully swung for it.
2-2 the count. Desmond with 14 home runs.
There was a time when a closer would come in and throw 70% fastballs on the outer edge black. Could be dead straight, didn't matter. You just weren't going to pull a home run to win the game.
That was the pitch I wanted.
I want that pitch for a strike, though. Like, I want that pitch to just be on the edge where he's got to commit to it. But you know what? Like they say, that's why we're up here. We're not playing Nintendo anymore.
Going from 0-2 to 3-2. And the next tapped foul.
That's what I love about Carlos Martinez, though. Just when you think, uh-oh, he goes in completely back under control and throws a slider for a strike.
Yeah.
Like he's getting, you can see Yachty saying, don't leave it over the middle, don't leave it over the middle, get him to chase, get him to chase. And then all of a sudden, hey, we got 3-2. You don't want to throw him a fastball, and then throws him a perfect slider down and away for a strike.
3-2 pitch. Tying run aboard. He went from 0-2 to a walk.
I think the only way that he lays off this pitch is if he knows fastball in's going to keep running, or he has some kind of idea that changeup's coming. That is a great take.
It has been Michaelis, Leon, Gallegos, Miller, and now Martinez. Walters is grounded into 7 double plays, and that tails up for ball 1. Yonder Alonso is at the on-deck circle. And the 1-0 pitch on its way. And Yachty out to visit. Since 2016, Martinez has induced 73 ground ball double plays, 7th most in Major League Baseball.
Telling him right here, you can't be too careful. Let's go. You can tell by when. You can see, I know Yachty for so long now. I can see it in his face. He's like, come on, man, these guys aren't that good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't give him too much credit. That's not a, hey, what do you want to do? That's a, hey, this is what we're going to do. And you need to get on this, and you need to do it this way. And because you can. So we talked about it a couple years ago with him. I was like, Yachty, why can't you get through to him? He's like, I tell him every day he's got no-hit stuff. And I go, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
for sure.
He's got it. And he goes, he just doesn't believe it yet.
Man. 6 of the last 7 have been out of the strike zone.
If I have that kind of arm, and if I'm feeling at all healthy, I am coming in guns blazing.
Yep.
You're going to have to hit 98, and I'm going to get ahead if I can, and then I'm going to give you everything I got. Slider, changeup, got a breaking ball. I got a 4-seamer that if you think it's going to run off the plate, it's not.
3-0 pitch, taking all the way, and he walked him. Back-to-back walks, puts the tying run in scoring position. Mike Maddox. And Alonso will pinch hit. They're down to Hampson and Nunez on their bench. Yonder Alonso. Been around for a while now. San Diego, Dodgers, Miami, native, Cincinnati. He began with them. Wade Davis starts to throw in their pen just in case. Alonso's grounded into 12 double plays. Runners at first and second, and the 0-1 pitch by Martinez. 5 for 12 against Carlos Martinez. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Falls behind, 2-1. Only some anxious moments now here at the ballpark. This is one the Cardinals really want. You got Flaherty going tomorrow. You've come back a couple of times in this game. You were down 2-0, tied it up 2-2, then down 5-2, and now have a lead of 6-5. Every game so crucial down the stretch. The 2-1 pitch to Alonso. Two and two. Inning started with a strikeout of McMahon. Desmond walked. Walters walked. Now 2-2 on Yonder Alonso. He got him with a nasty changeup. Man, is that tough. That's a beauty there, isn't it?
Such a nice pitch. I mean, he gets this. He's got this circle changeup. You can see the changeup right there in the hand. And look at the spin. It looks like a two-seam fastball. Plus, I say it all the time, mentally, you know he's got 96, 98 in his arm, and you have to be ready for it. That is what makes that changeup so devastating. If he threw 91 and that changeup popped out of his hand a little bit, not the same guy.
Blackman is 10 for 20 head-to-head with Martinez. 2 outs, 2 on. 6-5 our score. Ground ball, and this should do it. DeYoung across the diamond, and the Cardinals win it. They hold on 6-5.
Nice job right there. Pretty good game all the way around. Some big homers. Pretty good defense. Carlos Martinez came back and got his guys out, but I'd like to see him do a little bit more efficiently. Someone's going to have a heart attack, but
you're not the only one.
A good win for the Cardinals.
No doubt. Cardinals win it. They hold on 6-5. They take game 1, and it's off to the post-game show here in St. Louis.